Okay, we'll discuss question 16. We start from Q. The blood that is flows from the lungs to the heart. Then the heart pumps this blood rich in oxygen to the rest of the body. After that, you have oxygen is in the blood, right? Okay, it will be exchanged for carbon dioxide, meaning the oxygen that's in the blood will enter the body cells. Body cells will give out carbon dioxide. Okay, then what happened is the blood that is rich in carbon dioxide will now flow to the heart. 4. Okay, and then the heart pumps its blood to the lungs. Number 5. And at the lungs, gaseous exchange takes place. So carbon dioxide that's in the blood is exchanged for oxygen. Okay, so answer is 2. You have P, sorry, you have Q, then you have T, then you have S, then you have U, and then you have P, and lastly, the gaseous exchange that happens at the lungs, number 6, which is R. So answer is 2. Now we go to number 17. Answer is 3. Let us look at why answer is 3. Davy set up an experiment as shown. She inserted part of leaf X into a sealed container through a slit. She then placed the plant in a dark room for 2 days to discharge the plant. So you place it in a dark room for 2 days to discharge the plant. Okay, then look at this picture. You have a liquid that absorbs carbon, and after that you put it under the sun, right? So for the plant to photosynthesize, and you're testing leaf X for the presence of starch. So focus on leaf X. This part is exposed to carbon dioxide, so it can photosynthesize. Okay, the part that's in blue, that's in the jar, you have a liquid that absorbs carbon dioxide, so no CO2. So it will not photosynthesize. All right. So basically, there will be starch found in the red part when the iodine test is done, meaning the iodine will turn dark blue. Whereas for the blue part, the iodine will remain black, okay, or yellowish brown. Yellowish brown. Okay, so what was Davy trying to find out? So basically, she's trying to find out if plants need carbon dioxide to make food, correct? And iodine solution remained yellowish brown as starch was absent, which is the part A, the one that's in the jar. Okay, so correct. So answer is option 3. Now we'll go to question number 18. The answer is option 4. Now look at this. Ken clamped a toy car track to a table as shown in the table below. He let go of the toy car at point A. And then the car traveled to point B, the lowest point, passing by C and then finally reaching D. So you finish the loop. Which of the following statements about points A, B, C, D is correct? At point C, it's wrong to say it has the greatest kinetic energy because at this point, it is at the top of the loop. So there'll be more GPE than KE. So statement A is wrong. So those with statement A, you can safely cancel option 1 and 2. Now we look at statement B. The toy car has the greatest potential energy at A. Yes, because it is at a greater height above the ground than C. So statement B is correct. So without statement B, you can safely say that's wrong. So now we just make sure C and D, option C and D are right. The toy car has more kinetic energy at B than at A. Yes, because at B, it has minimum GPE. It has maximum KE. Whereas at A, it has maximum GPE. So it has minimum KE. If it's released from rest, yes, it's actually 0. KE will be 0. Okay? So look at statement C. The toy car indeed has more kinetic energy at B than at A. So option 3 is correct. Now, look at statement D. The toy car has more potential energy at C than at D. Definitely, because at C, it is at a greater height above the ground. So the car will have more GPE than at D. Okay, so answer that's correct will be B, C, D, which is option number 4. Okay, so question 18, answer is option 4. Now we go to question 19. Question 19. Answer will be option 3. Now let us look why it is option 3. Basically, there are 4 different brands of rabbit litter. What's the purpose of rabbit litter? It is used to, this is the change variable, absorb the urine of rabbits to keep the cage dry for the rabbits. So basically, he is testing how much water each brand of rabbit litter can absorb. Okay, so which rabbit litter can absorb the most urine so that the cage will be as dry as possible. The one that absorbs the most urine will allow the least urine to pass through. So which is brand 1. Repeat, the brand that can absorb the most urine is the one that allows the least urine to pass through. So the least urine will be collected. The least water is collected here. Okay, so you allow the least water to pass through because most water will be absorbed here. So least water will pass through and least water will be absorbed in the container. So answer is brand 1, option 3. Now, question 20, answer is option 4. Now look at why answer is option 4. The globe is floating in the middle of the toy. The globe is not moving while mid-air. So when it's not moving, there are balance forces. Upward force and the downward force are equal and opposite. The downward force is gravitational force, of course, and the upward force would be a magnet. All right. Otherwise, okay, there can't be this equal and opposite force, right? So there must be what? Magnetic force and gravitational force. Let me see. Okay, why is there air resistance? Let me look at it. Oh, okay, because it's floating in mid-air. Okay, when it's floating in mid-air, all right, something is trying to pull it downwards, which is GF. Okay, magnetic force of repulsion is acting upward. And because the GF is trying to, the gravitational force is trying to pull it downwards. So there must be also this air resistance, okay, to oppose, this tendency to move downwards. Okay, so there's this air resistance too. So answer will be option 4. Now, question 21. Answer is option 2. Now look at this. I am changing the thickness of a material. And this is the measured variable, the loudness of sound. Now the buzzer is set at a fixed loudness. Which 2 setup should he use? He should change the thickness because he's investigating the thickness of the material. Okay, and the rest of the variables should be the same. So this is so he should be looking at, let me see. Can we see A and D whether it's possible? Cotton and cotton, same material. The thickness is different. And the distance of the box and the sound sensor is the same. So it's correct. Okay, so answer is A and D, whereby you change the thickness of the material, leaving the rest of the variables the same.